Are you expecting something funny? What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all shapes and sizes? My name is Almighty123, and welcome to A Case of the Mondays. And today is a very special episode, and why is that? It's because today I'm going to show you how I record a video and edit it and upload it from start to finish. A couple people have been asking, what is the process that I take in order to get from one point to the other. So I'm literally going to go through every single process of everything that I do before I start recording. And I'll show you like what it looks like to edit something, or how I edit it, and then you guys can see just the entire process of how that is done. Okay, so let's do this. So the first thing you're going to see on the screen here is something called D3D Gear, and D3D Gear is what I use to record my video games. It's extremely simple. It is a brilliant program. I literally just have to go in to where I record my stuff. It does record in AVI format, and you'll see it, which means it's gonna record in very large files, but I get a higher quality out of that. These are my settings here. I have my resolution set up to 1080p. You can record all the way up to 4K. I record my games in 60 frames per second, but then I do downscale them to 30 frames per second, which is weird, I know, but it's I get a higher quality out of it. I keep my settings on best, my threads on auto, and I have an AMD graphics card because I'm a pleb, and so that's what I have here. And I recorded to a certain file, and yeah, that's all set up, and like the thing, the hotkey, such and such. You guys know how that works. Anyways, so yes, I want to delete that. Thank you. The thing that I record my webcam with is this. Hey, check this out. This is the Logitech webcam software that comes with the Logitech C920 that I do have. So that is the recording software, and it actually records the microphone through this as well. So I figured, hey, what the hell, I might as well just use this software for both of them. It doesn't seem to cause any issues. I have had the occasion where for some reason the mic has decided to just turn itself off. I don't know why, but it does. The only issue with this program is for some reason it records in what's known as a variable frame rate, which means that it fluctuates from, it's supposed to do it in 30 frames per second, but for some reason, because of lighting, whether it be like this light gets a little bit darker and it tries to balance the white balance out and everything, and so it causes the frame rate to go down slightly. So it'll be in 15 and then 23 and then 30, and then it'll constantly be up and down, so it doesn't have an exact frame rate. So I end up having to take all the videos, including gameplay footage, and I have to run it through a program called Handbrake. Handbrake is a neat little program. It is super simple to use, all right? So for anything that goes into a variable frame rate, or for AVI videos that are too large and work in Adobe Premiere, what I have to do is I have to go then into, let's see, I'll grab a piece of footage here, go into my YouTube videos, and I'll go into video recordings, and let's say I'll take the SWAT 4 video that hasn't come out yet, and I just simply drag and drop it into here, or you could go to source and you can go to file, blah blah blah, you can do all that, but what it does is that it takes that file and it puts it in here. So I go to my video settings and I say, okay, I want to set it to a constant frame rate, and I want it to be set to 30 frames per second. Now the webcam, the reason that I'd end up downscaling my videos, or my game videos, down to 30 frames per second is because my webcam does not record in 60 frames per second, and it comes out looking kind of wonky and weird when my webcam's at 30 and my gameplay is at 60. So I just do it all 30. It's just easier that way. I know a lot of people are like, you should record in 60 frames per second. It's way better, but I just don't. Yeah, it's fine this way. So I usually pick a place to save it. Then I'll be like, okay, I want to save it here, blah blah blah. I'll save the video there, and all I do is hit start, and it simply goes through. It makes it, that's all a simple 30 frames per second. It does not kill the quality of my video. Everything is hunky-dory great. So that's how I run everything through Handbrake. Once that is all done, then I take the video footage and I bring it into Premiere. Okay, so we're here in Adobe Premiere now, and as you can see, I've got all my things laid out here. This was actually Layers of Fear that I had edited here. which actually did not require a whole lot of editing due to the fact that I didn't screw up anything while I was recording, and everything just kind of came out simple. So all of the video files ended up being split up. I think it was 6 files that it ended up being split up into, and I cut out 1 or 2 little things, but you know, as always, I keep my webcam up top. I throw a couple of effects in there. You guys actually, I just realized that you can't see what is being edited because I actually have multiple screens. But yeah, here's the video. Then I have multiple screens, so I'll have a big window open off to the right here, where I can see big window with the actual video itself. You know, I'll go through. I literally will rewatch the entire thing that I recorded, and I will edit it all down. A couple little quick tips for people that are editing in Adobe Premiere. If you have a layer selected here, let's say you have multiple layers, you have your game and you have your video here. If you press Control K, you will do a quick cut there. If you're doing all of this and you do Control K, you will cut through all of them. Another quick tip, let's say I go over here and Control K, and that area that is now selected, I don't want that. If I press Shift Delete, it's going to get rid of it and move everything over to the right again. It's a pretty amazing feature. So yeah, I scrub through this whole thing. I make sure that the audio levels are proper. I go through and I make sure that my audio, boost my volumes a little bit. I boost my voice and anything like that. Usually what I'll do is I'll use any presets that I have. I have an audio preset, which isn't named for some reason, but I have an audio preset and mastering presets that I use for my voice specifically. I usually have a coloring format that is something like this. Is the darker footage, so the darker footage has for horror games, it's darker footage. It looks bleached out and it's kind of like ominous and scary. And I always have a crop preset, so I don't have to go and search for all this stuff. I can just go in and I know all my videos need this stuff here. It always needs this stuff. So I'll usually take the crop preset and I'll throw it on top of my video, and then I just go in and I simply adjust myself a little bit. And then I throw a drop shadow underneath me because it actually gives a little bit of depth to my video then. And so I have a couple other presets in there. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't, but because I do use them, that's just, it's good to have them in there. So what I'll do then is when I'm getting ready to, edit or getting ready to render, I'll press Control M. And that brings up this window here, the export settings. And the way that I render this out is I have, of course, format H.264. I go into my presets, click Y a couple times. It brings me down to YouTube 1080p HD. I usually click where I want to save it. I save it into my rendered folder here. And I just click export and it does its thing. Usually for a video, this was a half-hour-long video. So this is going to take... I'm going to say about an hour. Actually, it's probably going to take longer because I'm technically recording right now, so it's going to freeze up and it's going to be a pain. So hopefully this isn't killing my recording right now, but that's all right. So yeah, that's how I sit there and record and everything like that, and now you've seen how that works there. So usually after I'm done rendering, I'll Photoshop a picture. I'll usually do it as it's rendering, just to kind of kill time. So I pull up Photoshop here. So this is what it would look like to have one of my pictures photoshopped. So I always have the episode number. I have the other layer, which is the actual game name here. I have a color balance on me because that is what the actual picture looked like, and that is what it looks like with the color correction on it. As you can see, I'm very, very white. And I added a little more color to myself. I have a background on there because I actually cut myself out of here. But with all of it put together, it just makes a really simple, quick thumbnail. This one isn't complicated at all. I do have some that were actually quite complicated to make. The Alien Isolation one was a pain in the butt to make. I remember that. So yeah, after I'm done that, I usually save it for web. And then one big thing that a lot of people don't know, you gotta make sure that your thumbnails are under 2 megabytes when you're going to use them on YouTube. If they're over 2 megabytes, you cannot use them. You'll have to make sure that they save to a smaller file. So after I'm done that, typically I'll go to YouTube then. So I'll come over here to upload, and typically I'll just hit select here, and I'll come over to wherever my videos are at, go to YouTube, go to rendered, and I'll go to, let's say I'm going to upload this one. This is a simple video that I made for my friend Perlagger. That was an intro I had made for him. He didn't use it though, hurt my feelings. So I'll usually just drop it in there. It'll begin to upload, do its thing. Wow, it's uploading quite quickly. I'll go through and I'll name it. I've got my basic description here. I'll usually go through, grab a description for something. Do all of my tags, upload my thumbnail. And then one thing that I always do that a lot of people don't do is I add it to a playlist. People like playlists, guys. People like to go back to your channel. They like to see the things that you have on your channel, and they like when they're organized. So add stuff to playlists. Please add stuff to playlists. People want to see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the way that I go about doing everything. If you guys want to see like a step-by-step way that I edit stuff, I could do that. Another thing that I do is sometimes I will custom draw out my thumbnails. Like I actually do draw. I have an electronic tablet here that I use to draw. If you guys would like to see that, it's like a speed painting or like a speed art or something like that sometime, I'd be glad to do that. You know, you guys pick something for me to draw, and I'll go ahead and draw it for you guys. Just let me know in the comments below what you guys would like to see. So I don't really have much of a topic to go by this week. Not a whole lot happened this week. Some family stuff and a couple of crap things that I don't really want to talk about. But other than that, I saw Deadpool. That was really cool. I hope you guys did too. If you haven't seen Deadpool, you should definitely go see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into this episode of A Case of the Mondays. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, just be awesome.